You know, starting over and over and over can be really for kids, whether it's learning an instrument, learning how to create a certain set of patterns and sequences with coding, whether it's creating a beautiful piece of written work or a beautiful piece of art. It can prove to be very stressful to repeat the same thing over and over. But there are so many benefits to being able to repeat with a strong start every time you repeat. In today's video, I want to share with you something that I am practicing as a kids life coach and as a lifelong learner that I want to share with you. How to start strong when you are creating positive repetition. So the background story is that when I was in high school, I did art every day in the afternoon for 2 hours, and I would go home and do my art assignments. And I began to develop an adverse relationship with art. And I only had 3 sketchbooks since I graduated from graduate school, because my relationship with art was very fragmented. I would get so frustrated, I would get so irritated, and because I had a fixed mindset, I was exposed to a lot of stress and had some traumatic experiences like everybody else in the world. I could not value the gift that I was given. I didn't have the attributes to develop the gift, and I didn't have the mindset to develop the skills to make the gift better, make it more beneficial for people. So I picked up a sketchbook recently, and this sketchbook is full. I just finished it yesterday. It's full of pictures I created. I'm going to show you the first one. I started here. I started with a book my friend gave me for children, and it's all about learning how to draw in a way that supports loosening the mind. Okay? And this is actually from the Zentangle book for children. A wonderful resource for children. And so I started there, and that was November 9th. And now I'm in a place where I create this painting. I'm going to show you this painting I've created. But before I got to that painting, I had to say, I'm ready to draw people. I'm ready to learn how to draw people in a way where I don't feel so frustrated. So I started with a picture I found in a magazine, and I really just wanted to adapt it and play with the colors and have some fun. I said, you know what, this is a pretty good picture. Can I do it again? And my goal was simply to repeat the lines, change the colors, and get more loose. And what I began to notice is that with every repetition, a new variation was created. And that's part of the process. You can see even, these faces look so different. The guy's is kind of, the guy's is pretty consistent, but the girl's face changes. Her hair changes, her face structure changes, skin tones change. And again, my goal was to get more loose, get more comfortable drawing them. And I really didn't have a goal as far as, what I would do. I was just getting loose. I said, well, let me make them bigger. Let me make it more detailed. Let me make her smile even more. And so again, when the crayon, or the oil pastel rather, begins to wear off, it's like, oh, it made a little smudge on her face. But I said, you know what, that's okay. I'm just gonna keep going. And then I said, well, let's develop this idea or extend this idea of a blue background and being able to draw. And again, I'm using oil pastel. So what you'll notice again is the repetition created variation. And when I was in high school, like I said, I just wanted to be done. But now, being way out of high school, I am able to enjoy the process because I'm setting my mind to start quickly instead of getting slowed down by something I may not like or something I don't want to happen. I'm simply being more loose. I'm open to more possibilities. So when we are working with our young people on helping them to make those positive repetitions to create the habit, that's what we're talking about, creating the habit. Then we want to be able to say, okay, let's stay open to the possibilities. And like I said, when I started that series of pictures, I didn't know what was going to come of it. But now, look at this picture has come out so well, and you'll have to excuse my makeshift easel here because I don't have an actual easel. I'm using the bookshelf. But I am so satisfied with this first layer of paint on the canvas, and I've used the color Burnt Sienna. This is oil on canvas, 30 inches by 40 inches. And I am just, I'm going to zoom in a little bit here. I'm sharing this because number one, I realized for many years I've been afraid to share certain things because, as far as my gifts is concerned, or a skill or whatever it may be, because I feared that someone would try to put me in my place and say, oh, you need to stop showing off. And that's really a trauma response, that's a stress response. But what I understand now is that when you are open to the possibilities, you can create more awareness of what you can do versus when you're closed off. So the next thing I've got to do is I've got to add some more paint to that canvas. I'm not done yet. I would say maybe I'm 40%, but between the 40 and the 50 is going to be some time because I'm very particular, as many creators are, as all creators are. I'm very particular about the outcome I want to create for the person viewing. And I can't control the outcome. When they see it, they're going to have their own experience. But I want to make sure that I'm as close to precise in expressing the objective of the painting and the objective of the message, that people can feel it and they can add on to it and create onto it what they please. So I'm going to keep you updated. And the main points from this video is that when you set your mind to create positive repetitions, you have to stay light, stay relaxed, just be open. With every repetition, you can find variation. And when you are in that place of observation, you can stay open and discover and explore, what do I want to do with that? As I mentioned, when the oil pastel is I'll give you an example here. Oil pastel is this shape. I could cut it down and make a sharper edge. I could shade it on the paper really fast and create a monochromatic background, and then that would give it a sharper edge. But if I have it like this, which is not, it's a little dull, then I can say, well, what can I do with that? Instead of saying, oh, I don't have what I need, I'm going to use what I have. I hope this video is helpful for you. Share it with someone you love. Let them know that those positive repetitions create the mental habits that create the outcomes they want to experience. And stay light, start strong, stay the course, and finish proud.